From the locker room at the store, Monica asks the salesperson if she has another size of pants, and at that moment her cell phone drops to the floor outside the fitting room. She even sees the cell phone falling, but as her pants were open she couldn't go out like that, so she went back to the fitting room to close her pants, leaving the cell phone lying outside and saying she'll be out soon. At that time, a girl walks by the fitting room. She sees that cell phone lying on the floor and decides to pick it up. When she finishes getting dressed, she leaves the locker room and no longer sees her cell phone there, but when she looks to the side she notices a man with the same cell phone, so she goes to him and tries to take the cell phone back, but when the boy turns, Monica's face is startled when faced with that frightening costume. Even so, she takes her cell phone and runs away. The boy runs after her to get the cell phone back, but she runs and gets in the car. He tries to knock on the door, but Monica accelerates the car. The boy is outraged and says, "What is that?" She takes the cell phone of others and runs away. When he is returning to the store, the girl who took the cell phone hands it to him and says, "Man, I found your cell phone." The boy doesn't understand much, but thanks the girl. Soon after, a friend of his arrives apologizing for being late, and he starts saying that she has no idea what just happened. The friend then asks, "What do you mean?" And he says that his cell phone was just stolen, but she doesn't understand since the guy has the cell phone in his hand, so he says it's not his and shows the girl's photo on that cell phone and supposes that he believes that she liked him. The friend doesn't care much about this story and asks to enter the store. A little later, Monica arrives home and finds her fiancé. When he asks what happened, she explains that they changed her cell phone, but he doesn't understand since the cell phone is in her hands and asks, "What do you mean?" She shows the screen and says it's that guy in the picture. Jealous, the groom asks who that guy is on her cell phone screen, and again, the girl tries to explain that she was there in the store and her cell phone disappeared, but the groom doesn't believe it and asks if she's not ashamed of trying to deceive him. The girl is desperate with the situation and says, "I already said that I don't know this guy and that they changed my cell phone." The groom, still very angry, keeps asking, "Monica, are you thinking I'm a muggle? The worst that could have happened is you're cheating on me with this guy and accidentally swapping your cell phone with him, right?" Monica replies, "I already explained that I was at the store and my cell phone was stolen. It disappeared out of nowhere and I thought the guy had stolen it, but now I see that it was just an exchange by mistake." The groom then asks her to explain this story properly, and she continues detailing what happened. "I was there in the store, inside the fitting room. Then my cell phone fell outside, and when I went to get it back, it was no longer there. When I left the fitting room in despair, there was a guy with the same cell phone as mine, so I went after him and got the cell phone that I thought was mine back." Not believing this story, he says, before leaving, "I don't believe a word you said. Do it like this. Take that cell phone, exchange it with him again, and do the same thing you're doing to me." Then he leaves, and she doesn't know what to do. Already at home, the boy who had his face covered is together with his friend who is removing the paint from his face. He asks her friend to be more delicate, because it hurts, and she says that it is very difficult to remove that paint. At that time, he has an idea and asks for his friend's cell phone, explaining, "If I don't have my cell phone with me, I'll call him." The friend lends it to him and he calls. When the cell phone rings, Monica answers it and he starts talking. "Hi, how are you? I'm the guy from the clothing store. You ended up taking my cell phone." Embarrassed, Monica apologizes for the way she treated him at the store and says she was nervous about the situation. The boy, realizing that she was afraid of the costume she was wearing, explains that he was returning from an event and that he has her cell phone. Monica is relieved to hear this and asks if there's a place they can meet to make the exchange. He says he lives near the square and gives them an address to meet. Monica says he also lives nearby. The guy is happy on knowing that they are almost neighbors, and he says he will wait for her in the square. She accepts and says goodbye. When he turns off the cell phone, the boy asks his friend to speed up removing the paint from his face and says he is looking forward to the big meeting of his life. The friend does not seem to be happy about it, but does not say anything. He just continues to remove the paint with a little bit of anger, and when questioned by him if she could go together in the square, she accepts. Already in the square, the girl gets a little nervous because of the boy's delay. Soon after he arrives with flowers, and from afar the friend asks if it's that girl sitting. He says yes, and the friend wishes her good luck. The boy goes to Monica, and when he goes to give her the flowers she refuses. He doesn't understand why she refuses, and she explains that she only came to exchange the cell phones. Besides, she's in a big hurry, so she just wants the cell phone back to be able to leave. He is sad for wanting to get to know her better, but she again says that he just needs his cell phone back. He then says that he thought they had made a date to get to know each other better, and Monica asks where he got that idea from, since everything this was just to resolve a misunderstanding. The boy asks if she really just came for that, and she replies, yes, I even have a boyfriend, and the guy doesn't seem to care much and asks if they can arrange another day to meet. Monica denies it and asks if he's crazy to ask that since he's a stranger and she has a boyfriend. The guy gives up insisting and hands the cell phone to she. Monica sees that he was upset, so she apologizes for being rude to him. The boy replies, he doesn't need to apologize, she was right. Monica doesn't understand and asks who she is, and he explains, I actually thought I had found the love of my life. Monica interrupts and asks him to say who she is. He points to his friend and says, I think I was an idiot for imagining things that would never happen. That's my best friend, and we do everything together. We travel, we go camping, we watch movies. Monica finds this very interesting and asks if they spend a lot of time together. He replies yes, and Monica says, in that case I think you are blind. Not understanding, he says it's a coincidence. Monica says that because they all say the same thing, but he doesn't know why since he doesn't wear glasses. She then explains it better, you have the love of your life right in front of you and you don't see it. The boy asks what she means by that, and she continues, look at your friend, she accompanied you here and she doesn't seem to be happy at all. He takes a good look at her friend and says that she really doesn't look very happy. Monica asks how his friend reacted when he said he was going to the meeting, and he replies, I think I'm really blind. She didn't have a good reaction. At that time, Monica's boyfriend sees her talking to the guy in the photo, so he goes to them saying he's going to break up with him. Arriving at the table, he says, I found you. I was pretending all this time that I was exchanging the cell phone with him, right? Monica replies that that's not it, and when asked about what she's doing in that place with that guy, she explains, I just came to change my cell phone and I ended up giving him some advice. The nervous groom asks if she has become a psychologist now, and Monica starts to get nervous, asking her fiancé, no Paolo, I'm not a psychologist, why are you like that? I'm just trying to help him, who is blind enough to not see that the love of his life is his own friend. Paolo looks at the guy and says, look guy, you get smart, what do you want with my fiancé here? The boy then gets up telling Paolo to calm down before he does it himself. The two then start fighting. The friend approaches and, together with Monica, begins to separate the two. Then Monica thanks the boy for the cell phone and pulls Paolo away, telling him to get out of there before he makes more trouble. After they leave, the boy looks at his friend and says, I want to do something I should have done a long time ago. These flowers are for you. She doesn't understand and asks, what do you mean? The boy replies, yes, I was blind my whole life, not realizing that the love of my life was always by my side. She still doesn't understand, and he says, it's simple, you are the love of my life. Happy that he finally noticed, she gives him a hug.